we're just thinking about the day-to-day. We should be thinking about how we can make ourselves great down the track and not just for today.
I'm Laura Higgins, and today we have with us Kate Ritchie to talk to us about money and her story around money. So Kate, thanks for being with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So when you kind of first became aware of money as a thing, tell us your money story.
Well, my story around money and first becoming aware of it, I couldn't tell you how old I was. I'm going to say perhaps around 7 or 8, and it was a birthday for me, and I'd been eyeing off this beautiful little pale blue watch in the pharmacy over a few weeks. And I remember on the day of my birthday, I overheard a conversation between my parents. And I'm not saying that it was an unpleasant conversation, but it wasn't lighthearted either, and I got a sense of the seriousness of money. I think that was quite clearly the first time I became very aware of it and how it can affect lives and affect relationships.
What are some of your good money habits and some of your bad money habits?
I am not a shoes and bag lady who sees something pretty and shiny and must have it on the spot. Although I find that I'm quite generous. So I find my worst habit with money is thinking that abundance is best. So perhaps when I entertain, I make sure I have way too much food and way too much for everybody to consume, and then a lot of it ends up going in the bin. And I see that as kind of wasteful.
So Kate, a bit about your worst financial decision, but also your best.
I'm going to start with my best financial decision. I think that was when I first moved out of home when I was about 20, 21, and I bought my first apartment, which I still have now. And not only did it fill me with a lovely sense of kind of independence and I'm really doing this, Mum and Dad, and it was so wonderful, and it still sits there to this day, meaning I think it was a good financial decision. As far as bad decisions go, all of my bad financial decisions are made under pressure, and they all relate to cars, because I really have to replace a car right now, or somebody has talked me into a lovely new car that I have to actually buy today. And now in hindsight I realise you don't ever have to buy a car today. The car will always be there, or if it's not that car, it will be another car. So I think that my bad financial decisions, yes, are about cars, but are also about allowing people to put me under time pressure. And sometimes that's myself, and then at other times that is other people who are going to gain from pressuring me.
So one of the things we know is that women are often less confident in managing money than men. How about your confidence with money?
You're right. I may be one of those women who is not particularly confident when dealing with money. So I know that I need to gather advice when I'm making decisions surrounding that. I always try and do that from a number of sources though. I talk to people, say people that are older than I am, whether that they are my parents, people that I've worked with, older actors, and also then at the end of that road, have faith in you making the best one based on what is best for you and nobody else.
Kate, if you wanted to give your younger self some advice around money and finances, what would you say? Not
to be frightened of it and not to doubt your ability when dealing with it. Take the time to educate yourself about it, because whether we like it or not, it's such a huge element of our day-to-day lives.
We know that it's important for parents to talk to their kids about money. What's something you learned from your parents about money?
You don't need to spend a lot of money to have a good time. We had a very simple, happy upbringing, and that had nothing to do with the things we had. It was to do with being with each other.
So on average, women are retiring with less than half the superannuation of men, and they often don't know their superannuation balances. Any ideas or tips of how we can engage young women to think more about their superannuation and their future?
Perhaps if we engaged the Clooneys or something, people might start listening, and then we could, make super sexy again. The message should perhaps not be about super, it should be about looking forward to and backing your future self, if that makes sense. You know, we're just thinking about the day to day, but we should be thinking about our future. We should be about how we can make ourselves great down the track and not just for today. And then I suppose in turn super would play a role in that.
Kate, it's been great having you with us today to chat about money. We really appreciate it. We've learned a lot.
Well, yeah, I have. I most certainly have. Thank you for having me.